co-host joins the session. We'll see if he's able to hear
Hello,
us.
hello, hello. Good to
Hello,
be
hello,
here
yourself?
finally. Sorry it took a bit, but doesn't look like I've
Alright,
missed too much. Uh,
not really. Just had three drivers. Um, just had a little bit of difficulty with the wet conditions here in qualifying.
yeah,
We've had
seems
a
so. Seems so. Very wet.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It is a wet quali. Although we are in for a dry race though.
we are in for a dry race. So
Yeah.
opposite of last season, from what I remember, making my Div 1 debut actually. This time last season. It was wet during the race, and I had a poor time of things, if I'm going to be completely honest. Uh, but yeah, it's glad to see these guys back after a week break as well. It seems like Felix already setting the pace there. Cool guy actually not too far behind in the wet conditions, so
Yeah.
there's that. And Pantera is just starting his lap or something, or he's um, coming through to
Yeah,
finish it. I don't exactly know. Just getting everything set up. Oh, he's got an invalidated lap, so I'm assuming he's going to go for one now.
Yeah, he tried going for one a bit earlier, but went a little bit wide through the S's.
Ah, makes sense, makes sense. So yeah, we do have Pantera here for Mexico. Starting his lap time, Felix actually not too far behind. He's just coming through the second sector now. So through turn one, you can cut these very much so. And Cool Guy's actually retired into the start of the S section. So he actually said something in the chat, and that's the only reason I've noticed. But he has in fact crashed from that P2, so he will not be able to defend from his teammate or anyone else apart. Felix already has the jump on him. But yeah, so Pantera is bottom right now, so he does need to set a lap time. Pretty decent one as well. Coming through the S section now, beautifully done through the first part. You don't want to get too much on the curbs. You either want to go all in or nothing at all, otherwise you will unsettle the car. Most likely end in the spin with most of these guys are not using traction control. Coming through the stadium section now, one of the most iconic places on the track. Typically, I mean, no, there will be fireworks or sprinklers, whatever, towards the end of the race. We will see that. But coming up to the line, it's looking like a very decent lap time so far, and I think he's going to take pole position, and he does by 0.3 of a second, so that is a very impressive lap time from Mr. Pantera there. Beautifully done in the Haas, and I'm going to switch over to Felix now. Coming through to the end of the second sector, he's a 10th up. He does need a bit more than that if he wants to get ahead of Pantera. NLR Dylan actually sneaking up into P3 there in the Ferrari. I believe this is his debut, unless it's someone else with a name change, if you know of that. If not, that is a new guy. Felix improves by 0.2. Still just under a tenth, but still slower than Pantera, so he's going to have to go for another one.
I think Dylan is actually a new driver, I think.
Wow. Yeah, it seems like it. He's from England. He's part of the same organization or the same league as Felix and Kavudi, NLR. So promising, maybe. He's showing promise so far in these wet conditions on his debut, and let's hope that can continue.
Not seen in on the reserve list, so maybe Dylan's probably a new driver.
Entirely.
Yeah.
But Felix, Felix, he is 0.3 up on his time on this second lap. He's got a bit of traffic. Havina does get out of the way in the stadium section, coming towards the final corner. As long as he does not mess this up, he did have a bit of a moment through the stadium section, but he seems to regroup it. He's got bit hairy on the traction there, but he does go fastest by 0.3 of a second. And he goes top, almost into the 23s. I wonder if we will see a 23 by the end of this session. 4 minutes to go, or 4 minutes 40 to go. And that was a beautiful lap from the German driver. I believe he is... wait, who is first in the standings? I haven't taken a chance to look.
I believe... Well, first in the standings is currently tied between Felix and Pantera at the moment.
Oh my days!
Both on 108 points.
That has set up this final 4 races beautifully, where the same amount of points are up for offer. So if they match each other, this could come down to a matter of who's won the most races. And if that's tied at second places and so on, that would be something if we saw that here in season 4, wouldn't it?
That would be, yeah, absolutely incredible. Just trying to find...
I believe Havina's on a lap. He hasn't validated. He's coming up to the end of Sector 2 now. He's only a 10th up. That is not going to put him enough to put him ahead of his teammate or even break that 24 barrier, that minute 24. But yeah, so in the constructors, just taking a look, it's 152 points to Aston Martin, to Haas's 144, McLaren, and everyone else below pretty much out of it. It's going to take something very drastic for them to come back into this. So it's pretty much going to be between Haas and Aston Martin. This,
yeah, for both the championships.
Yeah, and then it's the same case with the drivers third and below. They really don't have a chance. I don't even think it's mathematically possible for Charlie, who's currently in P3, to win the title, which is going to be very sad, but he has had a great season nonetheless. There in P3, he's got a solid gap to Kev behind, over 10 points. That is, so he needs a couple good races here in the final 4 rounds over Kev to pretty much seal that third place with only 60, I believe 68 points on offer now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Charlie, I mean Charlie is mathematically possible. But is gonna take something else. These guys have to pretty much DNF from both qualifying and the race, because you do get a point for pole position. He needs to take pole position in every race, needs to take the fastest lap in every race and win. So
yeah,
you can see how it's going to be very unlikely, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the calendar at the moment. It'd be very interesting if championship battle goes all the way to the end, because we'll be in Jeddah, or the first ever Saudi Arabia Grand Prix.
A title decider coming down to a new track. That'd be very exciting. I believe this is the first time on the 2021 game we are racing around Australia, so that is something new. Obviously, this year's Australia not in the game yet, but it is very different to what it has been in previous games. This year's Australia, the curbs very deathly. It does seem a lot tighter than what it usually is. So it will be tricky for these drivers. I know that from racing around there myself in a couple of weeks ago. So it's going to be very hard for these drivers to keep it on track there. Probably a high, I'm going to say a high DNF track with how tight it is and how easy it is to spin. But that's just a guess. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully they do get some good racing. But that is in 2 weeks' time, so don't need to worry about that. All we need to worry about right now is on their final laps, Pantera, Felix, and Dylan, who's actually split the pair of them.
Ooh.
So Dylan showing up Pantera right now, the Polish man. Currently the first out of them who's going to complete their lap. Needs to be 0.3 quicker if he wants to take this pole position. So Pantera coming through the S section now. I'm gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait to see his split. He gets a little bit of a distraction from Nux there, and he actually invalidates. Pantera invalidates, and he's gonna be going round.
He's spun round.
Yeah, so that is not what Pantera would have wanted. That means he's not gonna be able to beat Dylan right now. And Dylan, he's actually coming through to finish his lap. I didn't actually quite catch how much he was up on his lap time, but is it gonna be enough to beat his NLR counterpart of Felix One on his debut? Could he take pole? in the Ferrari. Coming up to the line, the Ferrari man, Dylan. He can't go quicker, so that means Felix is currently still on provisional pole. So unless Havina can pull something out of the bag, that's going to mean Felix takes the pole position. And he is on a slow lap. There is a couple of people yet to set their lap time. This final one at least. Madame Gallardo, he's one of them. He's coming up to the line now. He's following Ash, who's also in the same boat. But I don't think either of them are going to go faster. Gallardo gets very wayward through the end. Ashley only goes P11. Magnum Gallardo can't improve. But we do have Charlie. Charlie has not set lap time. We don't know his pace in the wet right now. Charlie coming up to the line is going to be able to compete against those top three guys. Oh, he goes P4 just behind Pantera there. That is very unfortunate from the McLaren. But he is in where he is familiar, behind both Felix and Pantera, but with the added factor of the Ferrari of Dylan, who joined a bit late, obviously. 4 rounds to go. He's going to have nothing for the end of the season, but maybe just proving himself for next year, getting in the heads of those guys if he can become a disturbance.
Yeah, I still think Charlie Ricker is fantastic. He's actually only about pretty much a tenth off Pantera's pace.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the gap now. It is, in fact, like 3 hundredths of a second, so very close. 4 hundredths of a second it was. Very close between him and Pantera. But that's in the wet. It is going to be completely different for this race. Who's going to prevail in the dry around Mexico, which can cause mayhem.
Yeah. Yeah, especially going down the long DRE straight.
Yeah, so it is very high downforce track because of that S section and that middle sector entirely, in fact. But you need to get the straight line speed, get rid of that drag as much as possible, which Dreb's gonna, if they do their own setups, they're gonna find that by just maybe taking one tick off the front or back wing, or removing some ride height, getting it to low as possible. I know I run 1 on the front ride height just to get that drag to the back of the car, and it seemed to work for me. I wonder how these guys are going to interpret their setups, so it's going to be interesting to see who prevails on the straights, who's going to make that time up through the S section.
And the DRS is extremely powerful around here.
Yeah, it is.
It's absolutely crazy.
The 3 sections, and obviously only the 2 detection points. So if you do get that first detection point for the main straight, you will get it for the straight afterwards as well, which just going to be added insult to injury if they get through before the first couple of corners. I feel like that should be changed a little bit, especially how powerful it is down that main straight, because it's about 1 to 2 kilometers, that main straight, so very long, and a lot of opportunity to pass. So yeah, we have got the ready up. I don't know if it was messaged, so someone may have got a bit early there, jumped the gun. But we are going to be underway for the formation lap. Just confirmation there. Felix 1 is on pole with Dylan alongside. Pantera takes P3 with Charlie alongside the McLaren. An AlphaTauri lockout for row 3. That is very good performance for both those guys. Cool guy having a bit of a moment in quali and retiring due to that. Couldn't defend his position. So on his first run, he gets P6. That is pretty decent that time from him. Nux takes P7 with the second on the McLaren's Primetime Raz P8. Madame Gallardo and Iron Apple round off the top 10. Freestyler and Ashley P11 and P12. Vertex Spectre in the first of the Red Bull cars. Not having a great qualifying either of them, as in Kev retiring. Then it's the Mercedes boys, P14 and P15. Pos making his return, the second of the Polish drivers, P16. Asimkev, P17 in the second Red Bull, as I said, retiring, not being able to do anything, and that is not going to help him in his battle for P3 against Charlie. 13 places is the gap between them. Kavudi also retiring and not getting a true pace, true representation of his pace around here. I know he is very quick around Mexico, racing him myself earlier in the week, and then High Cut in the second of the Ferraris, rounding off the grid. Felix is lining up on the grid now. So not going to be too long until 5 red lights. I'm going to expect a 2-stop around here. Using 2 of the medium compounds and 1 of the softs. That's just the safest bet around here. Unless there is some late rain that we don't know about. You never know. That'd be pretty interesting if we could see that.
I think also the drivers that are on medium tyres, I think they could probably pull out a 1-stop maybe, and either go, depending on how their time management is, they could maybe go to softs at the end, or...
I mean, yeah, there are quite a few, but we are going to go to the 5 red lights. We'll talk about that in just a moment. 5 red lights, and we're racing in Mexico. Dylan gets an amazing start. I think he's already alongside and almost ahead, so is Pantera. He's going to be going up the inside of both of them, maybe a little bit of a sandwich into turn 1. I've got a terrible camera angle right now. Felix getting the straight line speed. And they have gone 3 wide through turn 1, through turn 2. Dylan's going to have to back up. Pantera is forcing his way through. There is contact, a bunch through turn 3, but Pantera budges his way through with no damage into P1. Felix is going to come back into turn 4. Yeah, going down the inside. And there's a virtual safety car already in this race. It's High Cut. Started P19. It's going to finish P19 with an early retirement there. Very unlucky from the Ferrari driver. His teammate Dylan drops down to P5 after getting just squeezed on that inside curb. And I think he's having a struggle with understeer. Does he have front wing damage? He did get... kind of forced out the way by Pantera. I wonder if that has caused damage. I can't see anything. Maybe he just wasn't turning enough. But yeah, so he has lost a couple of positions in all that. Nux is up to P3. Beautifully done from him. Gonna see who is where. So yeah, Nux up 4 positions, starting P7, behind both AlphaTauris, and Dylan is into the pit. So I think he does have front wing damage. We will confirm that. Does Felix as well also have front wing damage? He does. Felix and Dylan both have front wing damage. Maybe too aggressive from Pantera. I said he was getting away with no damage, but that was only to his car. Yeah. And that is how many? 1, 2, 3, 6 cars in due to front wing change. And that includes Charlie, Vit, and Vertex at the back of that. So Pantera maybe going a bit too feisty, but we are under green flag running now. It wasn't a full safety car, which I actually forgot about myself, but Pantera is going to take this lead. Is Nux going to be able to hold behind him? We are going to get DRS at the end of this lap because it was a virtual safety car. Only a virtual safety car, a bit of a warning there from Nux, I can already tell by that. And there's Dylan. Dylan has spun on the exit of turn 3. And there's a bit of a hold up between him and Cool Guy, both losing a lot of positions between those guys. Dylan drops to the back of that after a spin. I think Cool Guy just had to get off the accelerator to avoid him. Pantera does have that second gap over Nux. Nux will not get DRS down either of the straights. Pantera 120.1. That is not going to be the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, it is going to get faster and faster as these guys go down because they would have had more green flag running as you go down. So don't expect those times to go down.
Dylan will need to come in for a stop, and Cool Guy as well. Dylan's got no front wing, and Cool Guy's lost an end plate.
So even more contact. That's going to be 2 front wing changes in 2 laps on the debut for Dylan. That's both Ferraris having an absolute howler off the start. But I've got Ashley, and he's just made a beautiful move up the inside, textbook stuff, up the inside of Big Boy. And he's now into P7, chasing after Primetime Raz. Not within a second, so he's not going to get the DRS. Unless he gets a lot of time through this X section, he's not going to have that little DRS down the run to the stadium section. And pretty much sets up the DRS for the main straight. He has dropped back a little bit there. Moving towards Gallardo, almost running into the back of Havina, and he does get hit up the backside by Freestyler. I'd be surprised if Freestyler doesn't have any front wing damage. There was a pretty hefty hit, 117.8 by Pantera. That is going to be the fast slap, and I think going to hold that one for a while unless you never know, Felix could come back. So Magnum Gallardo, he does have DRS on Havina. Havina has it on Nux. Nux does not have any to defend. Havina probably going to wait till the next straight to make sure he holds that P2 if he wants to get past. Felix does, in fact, make the fast slap by 4/10, I believe that was. So Havina, he's not going to be able to do anything. He's just going to hold behind Nux for a bit, maybe. A little bit of a tactical decision, possibly from the AlphaTauri driver. His teammate not doing too well. Down in P17, 2 front wing changes to him. That's not going to be what either of them wanted. But yeah, so changing to this battle up the top between the P2 to P5. There's a bit of a spin from, I believe, Iron Apple through the first complex of corners. He has now retired, so I think he's just spun into a wall, and that's caused an actual safety car. So got our first safety car 4 laps in. It was a bit expected. There were 2 in the Division Australia, and that's only half the race distance, so pretty expected, I would say so, but a bit annoying it's come so early on. That's going to cause a lot of these guys to pit, including Pantera. They're going to go onto the medium compound of tyres, and they're going to get this free pit stop. Thing is Felix going to be... oh no, Felix is going to come in as well. He's going to go back onto the medium compound tyre. I believe, yeah, it does seem like that. So he's going to put on his second set of mediums. That means he doesn't have a fresh set. So he's going to have to stretch these a long way if he wants to make it to the end with only 1 pit stop remaining. Unless he goes on to that first set of mediums. They only did a lap. So I'd say it's entirely possible for that to happen. But yeah, Havina. Oh yeah, go on. Sorry.
We just go looking back to the big opening start, that big collision through the first chicane, and that. From my perspective and how it looked, everyone was just boxing in. Dylan and Pantera was just sticking his elbows out and just wanting to say, "No, this is mine, out of the way," pretty much.
I mean, it is fair enough.
Yeah.
He is in a fight for the championship, but then again, I was on board with Felix and just looking towards the side because there was no proper camera angle, or at least it wasn't for me. And it seemed like Pantera, he was alongside, but he was last out of the 3 of them going into the braking zone. Vic gets a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. He's down in P14, first penalty for the race of all these drivers. But yeah, so going back to that, Felix, he was leading. Dylan on the inside, he was second, and it seemed like Pantera just kind of sent it. Maybe a bit clumsy because I think Dylan got the damage from the send. It is very tight into turn 1. They don't recommend going 3 wide. It is possible if all drivers leave proper space, but I don't know if Pantera really should have done that, or if he should have backed out. But it did cause Felix to get front wing damage, did cause Dylan to get front wing damage, and Pantera is currently provisional P1, so worked out for one of them. Maybe not through the cleanest of racing, but that will be sorted out if they decide to report. You never know. So that is
Gotta
only
hate.
2 drivers who haven't made a pit stop yet, and Gallardo and Nux swapping positions. I don't know if that's... No, they swap back, so accidental overtake probably. Fair enough, the Yaz given the place back. So I was saying, Havina is leading us away, followed by Ashley and Kavudi, but neither of them have made a pit stop. Kavudi going long on those medium compound tyres. I'm surprised Havina and Ash didn't pit. They're on the softs. They're not going to last long. Tyre wear around here is very bad. Not coming in for mediums is probably thrown away their race.
Yeah, I think it has. Yeah, as you mentioned, tyre wear around here is really bad. How even I, struggle with tyre wear around this track, even though I'm really good at my tyre management. But I can only probably take these tyres maybe 6 to 8 laps, and then I have to change them.
Yeah. So these guys, I mean, we have had a couple laps under safety car running, but they have been warming them at the same time. So I'd imagine on restart those tyres are going to be swallowed up by those medium runners, especially the fresh ones. And Paz, he's on the softs, but he's just changed onto them. So watch him from P10. He's going to be going up that order quite a bit. So yeah, we're on lap 7 now. Going to be coming. I think the safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. So we are going to get away on lap 8. Just under 30 laps of racing going to be remaining there. So it's still a long way to go for all of these guys. And you never know. Felix can come back. We have seen it before in Belgium. If you remember back to that race, I don't know if you were there actually.
I don't think I was.
Yeah, so Belgium he got spun round, dropped to about 10 to 12 seconds behind Gallardo. Speaking of spins, he is round. Safety car is in this lap. Gallardo down to P16. So yeah, he did come back from about 12 seconds back to take the win on Pantera. Pantera did have a penalty, but he got it done on track on that final lap. It was a beautiful race. I'm very happy I saw that. So yeah, when is Havina gonna go here? Gonna lead us away in that Alpha Tauri? He's got a big enough gap to the safety car. He's gonna go on the exit of the corner. He does. Struggles to get traction. Kavudi, he's miles back from Ashley, so these top two gonna have an absolute breeze down the main straight. Gonna wonder if Ashley's gonna even try compete. It doesn't seem like he is. A couple guys in the pits, both Red Bulls in the pits. They're double stacking, both having front wing damage. Probably Paz already passed Big Boy. He is up into P8. He's not got enough to prime time res to make a move into the first couple corners there. Felix up to P10. He's got a big gap though to Big Boy, so I wonder what's happened here. Has there been multiple crashes that have caused these big gaps? Especially between Felix and Big Boy. That's 4 seconds almost. 3.5 seconds between him and the Mercedes. I wonder what's happened there. Maybe they were caught behind Vertex. Obviously Gallardo had spun. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but Vertex having a bit of front wing damage, not getting away. Gonna probably cause a bit of a backage up there, and now it's even more of a trouble for Felix. He's on the same strategy I'd say as Pantera now. The only problem is he's about 5 to 6 seconds behind.
I think Felix might have just got a poor restart, I think.
You never know. Obviously we can't get them in mid-race, sadly, so unless we saw it or someone else saw it and is able to report to us, we have to wait for answers. And that is going to be the case with this. Looking back up towards the front, Ashley 4 tenths behind Avina. He's still not pushing for that top. And I actually do have confirmation of who did the ready up message or who readied up before the host, and it was Pantera. So Pantera is gonna get a penalty. He has admitted to it. He is gonna get a penalty. So that means if Felix knows about that, he's gonna have a bit more cool-minded outlook on things.
Actually, I think if the penalty systems, if I can remember it correctly, I think because Pantera's readied up early, his result from this Grand Prix will be null and void, I think. He gets a qualifying ban for the next race, I think.
I think so. I don't know if they've updated it. Last time I remember it was a 10 or 20 second penalty.
Yeah.
Having a look now, it's a 5-second penalty for driver reading up before the host. So Pantera is going to get that 5-second penalty. So that means Felix, he just needs to be within those 5 seconds at the end to get the points advantage on Pantera. He actually already has the points advantage on Pantera by 1 for that pole lap time.
Vedi's actually not doing too bad. He's about half a second off Pantera.
He is on old mediums as well, so great racing from there. He's going to get the DRS. He's got no ERS though compared to Pantera, and I don't think he's going to make a move anytime soon, with Pantera also having DRS and ERS to help him. Also, Kavudi has a penalty. He's on old tyres. I don't think he's exactly going to be competing unless he's gone for a one-stop. Onto those hard compound tyres. Yeah, you mentioned it. I don't think hards are a great race tyre though, especially with the much needed grip through that S section.
Yeah, you're sort of looking, predominantly going to be having more of the soft and the medium tyres being used. But if we just go talk about Ashley and Havina, lap 11, and they're still on these soft tyres, the original soft tyres.
Are they going for a one-stop soft to medium? And Ash is now making a move for the lead on Havina. So if they are only doing the one pit stop, this is for the race lead. And Ashley has eyes slightly touched Havina. Havina's still sticking his nose in when he probably should have backed out through there's very tight corner. Ashley did have the advantage, and he takes P1. Pantera hot on his heels though, on fresh medium compound tyres. Those softs are going to be dying. I wouldn't be surprised if they both came in at the end of this lap. Pantera probably going to make the move down the main straight as well.
I actually think these soft tyres are completely gone.
And Ashley continues on, so does Havina. So maybe Havina copying a bit of what Ashley is doing. Fair play to them for staying out this long, but they're surely getting to puncture territory roundabout now. If not, those tyres are going to be absolutely crying nonetheless. So Ashley now behind Havina. Kavudi trying to send it up the inside of Havina. He doesn't get it quite done, and Ashley loses the back end. So we were just talking about how those tyres are going to be dead, and I think we just saw the first signs of that. Maybe should have come in at the end of that lap. But if they're pushing for that one stop, they're gonna have to stretch these tyres, and I think they already knew their race was almost finished. So it was their only hope, and if it came with these risks, and Ashley has paid the price for it. Havina not so much yet. He is in that P2 position, best of the rest so far, because Pantera and Felix, they're both pretty much in a league of their own. I mean, even Dylan, you can't cut him out. You never know with safety cars what he can do towards the end of the race. He has done a P14 though, stuck behind Vit. So yeah, Havina, is he going to come in at the end of this lap? So I imagine Ash will, because of that spin. He's going to be getting a bit worried, or that half spin I should say. And he doesn't, he carries on. Pos retires. That's going to be another safety car. We almost went 7 laps. So there we go, another safety car. So Ash may be wishing he came into the pits a bit there. A lot of these guys at the back are Felix hasn't, so he's going to join back in P8. Probably going to move up a couple more positions with Havina and Ash. Charlie coming in again on those mediums though. So I don't exactly know why, but he has come in for another stop. Dylan also coming in for his third stop, same with Cool Guy. And that's going to be the grid so far, and the Red Bulls double stacking once again. Kev losing out both times, so he's not going to be too happy with his teammate. You know, given the same ideas, having the same ideas he has. But Kev goes onto the softs, so he's definitely making another stop in this race. We're going to make the most of this restart.
Yeah, I'm just currently on board with Lavina at the moment.
Yeah, I'm bored with it. I'm on board with that.
He's coming in.
But so, I believe Pantera, everyone's coming in. So Ash comes in as well. Felix, I think he's made a late decision to come in. He's seen everyone else come in. And yeah. I don't know why. Why would he come in? He's coming for another set of mediums. Maybe going to try to stretch them to the end if they can. That'd be beautifully done by all these guys on tyre saving. So Felix, he's on 2-lap old mediums though. Pantera on fresh.
I don't know. Maybe Felix is looking at it from when Pantera pits, I pit pretty much.
I mean, I don't know if he does know about the penalty. So maybe just a case of whatever you do, I will do, and stay within 5 seconds so I can take your place. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
He is going to have to clear a couple of cars because that gap is going to open up rapidly off the restart. Kavidi on softs. So he's definitely not going to the end. But he is going to... yeah, pretty much be blistering off that restart. Going to be taking advantage of those tyres. Hopefully not another, I'm going to say, use the word kerfuffle off restart, where a bunch of gaps opened up. I'm going to stay actually on board with Felix for the restart, because I want to see if it is something to do with him, if he just can't get that traction out of turn, I think 16 it is, the final corner. I don't exactly know how many corners are on this track. It could be 18 from memory, maybe. Not too sure, but that final corner is very hard to lay down power, especially for a safety car restart. I had struggles with it, and actually it ended my race. I got a little tap from behind during the week, and it was enough to get rid of all traction as I'm trying to get stay in touch with the leader as I was in P2, and it just sent me round. So I know the struggles of that final corner, especially on the mediums.
Not very forgiving. It doesn't really matter which tyre you're on. Be very careful on how much power you put through.
Yeah, which is why I think Kavudi's gonna do well on this restart. Though those softs gonna give so much grip compared to Havina and Pantera. Expect him to be making a move on Havina down the main straight. So a freestyler, the unlikely hero out of all this, hasn't made a pit stop under this safety car. I did on first, and he has taken up the lead. So probably maybe becoming a decoy or becoming that barrier in the road for Havina, Kavudi, Raz, Nux, and I'm going to say most importantly Felix. So if they are in a party chat, Freestyle and Pantera, and they are doing tactics between both of them, and this is a tactical move to keep him out, have track position, hold up those guys behind, while Pantera races off into the distance, that is very well done, I would have to say, from the Haas boys.
Unlike the Red Bull drivers at the moment, who got no communication.
Adam Gave actually gone for a spin there at the back. He's miles off, which is actually going to cause the safety car to stay out one more lap. Why did you have to spin, Kev? At least, well, under yellow flag running, so very unfortunate from the Red Bull driver down at the bottom of the field. Dylan and Charlie, P14 and 15 there, also not having a great time of things. Dylan overtaking, Galado's coming into the pits off the hards. So maybe trying to go to the end. I think he lost it again under safety car. I realised the tire grip is none and decided to come in. Full mediums he is, so very smart decision there. 20 laps to go. They definitely can go the rest of the race. Going to be very hard towards the end, but they will go towards the end. Let's hope they can both catch up. I believe the safety car will come in no matter what though, so that is going to be a bonus. Drivers without penalties so far. I don't know if there's more with or without. Pantera, Havina, Raz. Oh, no, I'm not going to count Pantera. He does have. I'm going to say he has a 5-second penalty. Because I believe someone will report, especially Felix, if he knows that. Or he did. Pantera did say it himself that he did. So I'm going to say he has a penalty. For now, Havina does not. Raz does not. Felix doesn't. Ash doesn't. Vertex, Dylan, and Charlie all don't. So I'd say there's more without than there is with, which is something else. Safety car is in this lap. We are going to get underway. Everyone has 3 seconds apart from Kavidio 6 and Knox has 8. So he has got a 5-second penalty. Maybe spinning in the pit lane, maybe ignoring yellow flag. No, ignoring yellow flags. That's a drive-through. But freestyle, he's going to lead us away. I wonder how much grip he is going to get on these older mediums. He gets enough, and he gets an amazing start compared to all these guys. Pantera a second behind, and Kavudi doesn't get a great restart, so he's not going to be challenging Havina into turn 1. Is Havina going to be challenging Pantera? He's not trying to use the ERS to get past yet. He might wait until the next straight. Coming through turn 2 and turn 3 now. Havina, does he turn on that ERS to try and make a pass? He has, but I don't think he's going to be close enough, and he turns it off, so I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move on Pantera. Look, going towards the back. Vertex spinning, losing a couple positions there to the bottom 4 or the bottom 5 now. And Adam Kev getting past him, so Dylan having another mistake, and he drops to P16 now towards the back. So he's not having a great debut. He had a great 1-lap pace, but not much to do in the race, and he's actually dropped off the back with Vertex. I wonder if there's front wing damage with either of them, or if there's just been a little bit of a mishap. Pantera right on the back of Freestyler now. He has got pace compared to the Haas of it, well, his teammate in the Haas. And Havina is right on the back. Kavudi has caught up those 2 seconds. He's right on their tails as well, the back of this train. Felix stuck behind the McLaren of Raz. He needs to clear him if he wants to catch up to this train. So yeah, Pantera moves out to the inside. I think his teammate's going to make it easy for him. He does make the move before the breaking point. Havina trying to go round the outside. That's beautifully done from the Alpha Tower. He braked way later than Freestyler, and I think Kavudi, he got a bit forced off. He got a bit forced off there on the exit, but Havina, he didn't want to be stuck behind Freestyler. He didn't know if there was tactics going on there, as I may suspect, and took the most of the position swap between the Haas boys.
Yeah, he just saw it get there and just decided, I need to get in there.
Yeah,
put down.
He doesn't want to lose touch from Pantera. Kavudi, he's right on the back of Freestyle. I'd expect him to make a move into the stadium section. You can't get the grip out of the S section though, so he's not going to make a move on Freestyle. Can brake later, has got more grip on exit. Is he going to send it? He does, into the hairpin. He goes a bit wide. Freestyle has to cut the corner, but loses the position in the midst of it. I think Kavudi forced him off a little bit there. Probably not a two car wide corner. That means he takes P3 though. Freestyler P4. Felix has caught in within DRS, so he's gonna slowly make his way through all these guys. Cool Guy and Big Boy making a position change, going side by side into turn 1. Cool Guy pulls off the move on Big Boy. Beautifully done there from the second AlphaTauri. Same corner, different line. Cool Guy went up the inside, and Big Boy just been overtaken by Charlie who's on the soft. So 2 corners on 2 straights. That's not great from the Mercedes driver. And the second one, he's under pressure from Atom Kev currently in the Red Bull. Going into the S section, Atom Kev on those soft compound tires. Charlie gets a 3-second penalty. He's first of the race. See, Atom Kev, is he going to do anything? Gallardo goes for another spin. He's not loving Mexico, especially that S section. So Kev, right in the back of it right now. Gonna stay on board with these guys at the closest together. Maybe Felix gonna make a move on Freestyler. They have dropped off a lot from Kavudi, so I think Freestyler has been holding up Felix. And there's Dylan. Dylan gets a retirement and another safety car. Third of the race, another safety car. So here we go again for another probably 4 laps under safety car. Magnum Gallardo retires in the pits, so that is just because of the I think he's had enough of spinning and wants to save his integrity.
Yeah.
Felix up into P4. He did get past Freestyler, and he's now going to be right behind Heavy. Now I wonder, are people going to come in for another set of tyres?
We're currently on lap 20.
16 laps to go. Do you reckon it's worth a tyre change? A lot of these guys have run 8 laps on mediums, so they're not going to go onto fresher tyres. And the softs, I don't think they'll make it. 16 laps, I mean, Havina and Ash almost pulled it off. So you never know, and if there's another safety car, that just helps them even more. So do we see people go onto that softs, try stretch it to the end? Felix he's jumping the gun, and he's coming in. I wonder if he's just listening in. And he is putting on the soft compound of tyres. Everyone else behind, apart from Cool Guy and Big Boy, also doing the same. That is going to mean Felix is going to join in P6 on fresh soft compound tyres. Kavuri probably going to play a big role in this if he can get a good restart on Pantera.
I wonder if Felix is trying to go for the fastest lap in case we can't quite catch in Pantera.
I don't even think that's the case. I think he's just jumping the gun. I think he's going to risk it. He's got nothing else to lose. He wasn't exactly in the fight with Pantera. Pantera is very quick, and this is the, I think, only way he can have that pace advantage. Pantera
the only
very
thing
quick.
he has to lose is his championship spot if he makes a bad call.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think he was getting past Pantera anyway, which is, I think what, I mean, is what I was implying. No matter, this is the only way if he was going to risk it, you know?
Yeah.
So he is P6, he's got a couple cars ahead of him, including both AlphaTauris. Big Boy, who isn't exactly too fast, he's 2 seconds off the pace from Felix's fastest lap. Pantera and his teammate Kavudi, who could play a big role in this race if Kavudi can get ahead of Pantera, hold him up in these first couple laps where there is no DRS, pushing on the straights, being an absolute boat through the corners, letting everyone back themselves up. Felix making easy moves. This can all play out into Felix's hands, or it can go the complete opposite. Pantera can absolutely run away. Felix gets stuck behind Big Boy, Cool Guy, Hervina, for 3 laps until DRS, and he's got nowhere to fight back. So it can go either way, and I think it's up to Kavudi and what he does, whether he can make those moves or not.
Yeah, I think this restart really is going to be a massive power player.
Yeah, obviously all these guys on, they're going to be on about 6 lap old mediums, 7 lap old mediums, I believe. So that means, yeah, 7 lap old, 8 lap old mediums, and they're going to just be an absolute boat, pretty much. There's going to be barely any grip on those tyres already, with the added, almost 10 laps that they've done. They're still going to have a lot of grip, but not a lot compared to those fresh softs. So
yeah, but
what are we going to see? Safety car is in this lap. Is Kavudi going to get away well? Is Pantera going to get the jump on the Aston Martin? Is he going to hold his place in P1? Is he going to get that 5 seconds opened up to Pantera? Is he going to get, I mean, Felix behind, sorry. On restart now, Pantera, he's going, and Kavudi, I know what the problem is for Kavudi. He doesn't get a good restart again. I know what it is. He's in too high of gear, and because of the safety car limiter, where if you're too close and you're too high of a gear, you can't go. That's what's causing him this thing. The game won't let him put the throttle down, so he's not getting great restarts. Felix already passed Big Boy. Kavudi gets another 3-second penalty, but he just needs to get ahead of Pantera right now. Hold him up. I mean, he's not using ERS, so he's not looking to make that overtake. So Kavudi, maybe not playing the team game right now, but he is sticking within the second of Pantera, and he only needs to do that for a couple more laps, and he will have DRS.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Felix, he has got the 2 Alpha Tyrers ahead of him now, coming through the S section. He hasn't got a penalty, neither does Cool Guy. I mean, neither does Havina, Cool Guy does. Cool Guy absolutely cuts the chicane. Or not chicane, the S section, takes out a couple of the bollards, and that is going to be an easy overtake for Felix. He's now got Havina ahead. This is the one that's going to be more competitive, I would say. Coming through the final corner now, is he going to get a great exit on those softs? I believe he would. Down the main straight, he's using ERS. He's making sure he gets past Havina, also using ERS to... No, he's not using the ERS. Seemed like it. But Felix, that's going to be 3 positions in only a couple laps. So, 1 lap and a straight. So, very great job from him. And now he's only got Kavudi ahead, who might get out of the way. Felix can't push too much on those sides, otherwise they will die towards the end. Kavudi does get out of the way. Almost risking his position. He almost goes straight into Havina. And Havina is round.
Havina goes round.
So Havina probably didn't back out when he maybe could have, but Kavudi he was very dangerous in cutting straight into Havina's line, trying to cover him off. So there's going to be a big discussion about that after the race. Felix, though, is within the second of Pantera. And he only needs to stay within 5. He only needs to stay within 5 seconds of Pantera. Unless he gets more penalties. And if Felix gets a penalty, that goes on to 2 seconds. Pantera goes to penalty. It goes up to 8 seconds. So he needs to get ahead, though, within these first couple laps. This is going to be the last lap. Really, he sets the fastest lap comfortably. He needs to get ahead on this lap and build that gap as early as possible to make sure when those tyres go, Pantera does not have enough time to 1, get ahead of him, 2, build that 5-second gap. So Felix, his race pretty much lays on this and next lap, I would say. I mean,
I have to agree. It has to be this lap or next lap that he gets in front and builds a comfortable distance.
Yeah, because if you're going to go on to 5 laps after the restart, it's on the 3rd lap already after the restart. If it goes on to the 5th, that's when he's going to have to start preserving those tyres. If he wants to go 16 laps on softs, he needs to start tyre saving straight away as soon as he gets past Pantera, because I think he can tyre save and still have enough tyre grip to pull out a gap as of right now in these first 5, 6, 7 laps. But after that, he's going to start losing the gap to Pantera while tyre saving. So he needs to get past now, and I think he's going to do it with DRS down the main straight. He's purposely not pushed out of the S section. He is going to be getting DRS now. He's going to have slipstream. He's going to have the soft. He's not going to use DRS. Pantera is not going to be... Oh, he is using DRS, so that's just how strong DRS is. And he's not going to be able to hold off Felix. Now, Felix is also going to get DRS down this second straight. So he's going to pull out the gap even more. Not as much, because Pantera will... Actually, the DRS and slipstream doing a great job for Pantera. But is he going to stay within a second come the S section? Because if not, especially during those S's where they need a lot of grip on those tyres, if he isn't within a second, he's going to start losing touch of Felix even more.
Yeah. How long has Pantera been on his tyres for?
Since about lap 13, I think.
Yeah, so he's currently about 11 laps on his medium tyres compared to Felix's 4.
Yeah, and is he going to stay within that 1 second gap? I think maybe. We'll find out in just a second. It was on the limit. He hasn't. Pantera does not have DRS currently, so Felix, his gamble to go on those softs has paid out. He is in the lead. He has got out of DRS from Pantera. He's now going to start building on that lead. He's not going to get much down the straights because Pantera does have ERS to close back in. He does have a little bit of slipstream. But during that second and third sector, he's going to start pulling massive gaps until about, I'd say, lap 30. And then the last 6 laps, Pantera needs to not only close down that gap that he's going to have, he needs to gain 5 seconds on it. So this could go down to the absolute wire. And if that does, it's going to be another great race for PAFR Division 1.
Yeah, it's... Although...
He gets DRS though. Pantera did climb back with this straight line speed. He has climbed back into DRS for now. But I don't think he's going to keep that for the stadium section. He's got the same gap he was last lap. Has he done enough to climb back? And he can't get the exit. He hasn't. So Felix, not much. I think those tyres are now starting to go slightly. About 5-6 laps on them. For the Aston Martin. They've got a massive gap though. Look at the gap to Charlie behind.
Yeah.
6.5 seconds. And he's currently battling in a long train from P3 down to P8. So that's 6 cars. All within a second of each other. All trying to get past each other. And Charlie could be on for another P3. I'm gonna have a look at the penalties, see what's happening. So Charlie has a 6-second penalty. Cool Guy only has 3. So Cool Guy currently is P3. Freestyle is 9 seconds though, so he's gonna drop all the way down. Primetime Raz only 3 seconds. He's currently gonna be ahead of his teammate, and I think Atom Kev will as well. Vit has 9 seconds. He's gonna drop to the back. Ashley, I think he's he's out of touch from these guys. So if Charlie does not build that gap, he's going to drop all the way down to P6, I would say, and lose. So he needs to start building that gap. 1.9 seconds this lap. So almost gained a second, Felix. I just noticed. So he's pushing a bit more. He has got ERS spare. Pantera down to 20% pushing. I think Felix has actually made the right call here, going onto those softs.
Yeah, it's not really a call I would make, but...
I mean, this is why he's the champion of the last season. He's currently defending, and he is the leader of this championship as it is live.
Yeah.
Just under 10 laps to go now. Almost lap 30. the end of this lap is going to be lap 37 laps to go. There will be, so about 9 minutes, I'd say, of racing. So still plenty to happen. Any of these guys can make a mistake. Any of these guys can get a penalty. And absolutely, Pantera does have a penalty. I have just clocked Pantera has a penalty, so that gap is up to 8 seconds. That he needs to build. So unless Felix absolutely bottles this, unless he gets a puncture, unless he spins, unless he runs out of fuel like he did in USA, I think Felix has got this pretty safe. He doesn't need to make any risks. He doesn't need to defend drastically if Pantera does close down that gap, which has now gone up to 3 seconds. I'm going to move back to this train, and Charlie does have enough of a gap to retain P3 as of right now. Wait, no, he does not. Primetime Raz is just about. Primetime Raz will go ahead as it is right now, but I think he has that gap secured, and he's going to continue to make gains on Cool Guy. He is also on the soft, so he's one that followed in Felix, and he's one that is also benefiting from this with possibly another podium. As it stands, it'll be yeah, he's just gone into the podium spot, so with those guys behind battling, he has currently got that gap of 3 seconds which he needs to his teammate behind.
Yeah.
So we could see a 1-2-3 from in the championship 1-2-3, which would be very fitting. And Kev wouldn't be currently actually looking at the maths. It is a 1-2-3-4 from our 1-2-3-4 guys. That is funny how things work out, you know. Just, you know, one of those interesting things that I like to find throughout the race, as it's kind of settling down. I mean, Kev is trying to make a move on Primetime Raz. This train is getting interesting. They are almost going into the back of each other, pushing each other along through turn 1, 2, 3. Charlie gets another 3 seconds. So that means he needs to get 6 seconds on Primetime Raz. So as I was speaking about getting that gap, he not only needs... he does have the 3 seconds Cool Guy, but he needs 6 seconds to Primetime Raz. So not what he wanted there. No. So well, it's pushing a bit too much maybe than what he needed to.
Yeah, they might be thinking more, you know, about the constructors now instead of the drivers. The fact that Charlie's not really secured P1 or P2, I might just be worried more about getting points for the constructors.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they are in a very close battle, and 2 points is the gap between them and AlphaTauri. But both McLarens running the points. Havina is down into P14, so not doing well in the second AlphaTauri is Havina. Cool Guy just got past for P4. I mean, he got past for it, as in Freestyler made the move. Kev almost, I think he did get a little bit of a corner cut there, so Primetime Raz gets 3 second time penalty more. So that means he does then drop behind, so I don't exactly want to do all the calculations now. I'm done with the calculations. We'll wait to see what it is at the end of the race, because we knew track limits was going to be a big thing, and Pantera gets another 3 second time penalty. Charlie, if he can stay... he needs to be within 2 seconds if he wants to pass Pantera. 4 laps to go, just about 4 and a bit laps to go. If he can close down on those softs, if they haven't worn out, if he can push, not get any more corner cutting penalties, and he can close within 2 seconds, he will take P2. That is the current situation between the top guys. As we're talking about the train, Vet has joined in. He does have 12 second penalties, 12 seconds of penalties, so he's not exactly in the fight, but he is in the back of that. Kev pushing Raz down the straight into turn 1, takes the inside lines. I think, ooh, Primetime Raz on the hards. He's doing well defending. He's closed the gap a bit too much, and he's caused Vit, Vit just unlucky bystander, and they've both, at least Vit has, he's lost his front wing. Kev drops down to P10, so, yeah, not great for Kev there. I think he may have got a little bit squeezed. I think he wasn't entitled exactly to space, though. Primetime Raz not doing anything wrong, I feel. He was far enough ahead to not have to give space. Not enough patience there from Kev. And Vit, just an unlucky bystander and all that, running into points. Which isn't exactly common for him. And he's unluckily just been caught in the back of that. So Felix, 3 laps to go, 4 seconds the gap, plus penalties. He's doing well, and that call to go onto the soft compound tire is, yeah, it was an amazing move, and I'm actually speechless about how his decision making and his racecraft, it's impeccable. It's second to none, pretty much.
And
Vit, that's in the pits. Yeah, that's in the pits. He did get 10-second penalty for corner cutting. I think Nux has come in the pits for softs. Nux has come in the pits for fresh soft compound tires. So he's going to be going for the fastest lap. Can he take that away from Felix? I'm going to have a look at what the fastest lap is right now. That's a 1:16.5. Nux needs 1.4 seconds if he wants to make, if he wants to get the fastest lap and take away that point from Felix. Lap 35 now. Felix still dominating. That gap hasn't come down whatsoever between him and Pantera. Charlie still within that, still only 6 seconds behind. So I don't think he's going to get P2 here. He has maintained P3. So that is a great drive from him. And Kev, with that spin, he drops all the way down. He's not going to get P4, so we aren't going to see the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 is still on though. A little bit of a position change between Kavudi and Ash down the main straight. DRS assisted, I would assume, as Kavudi gets DRS down the second straight just to pull away from Ash there. Primetime Raz, Cool Guy and Freestyler still in a very tight lock battle for P4 on track. Primetime Raz is going to take P4 though, so that's currently 3-4 for the McLaren boys due to penalties. And Primetime Raz is Raz gonna try and make a move on Cool Guy here? Is he just gonna hold still for the time being? Still 1 lap to go. Nux, he starts his lap to get the fastest lap. I will keep in tabs with that. I'm actually going to go on board with him after this main straight. He's coming through one of the harder sections on the track, the double apex hairpin. Primetime Raz, he's falling off the back. He's not using ERS. He's not exactly needing to. Cool Guy is going to move to the outside. He's going to make the move on Freestyler before the breaking point. He's going to move into P4. Last lap of the Grand Prix. Switching over to Nux now. Is he going to get that? He's 1.2 seconds ahead in the stadium section. So I think he's going to get this. Is he going to take away a point from Felix, which isn't going to mean much to Felix, but it is going to mean a lot to Nux's championship. Coming up to the... He's set a quali lap. It is a 1:16.1. Beautifully done there. He takes now the fastest lap by... Let's have a look. 4/10. It's a very good job from Nux. But coming up to the line to take yet another win in Div 1, Felix, the veteran of Div 1, takes a win in Mexico. Pantera's going to come through for P2. Charlie's not going to have that gap closed down enough to take P3, but he does. I mean, he does take P2. I mean, P3. Jesus, I'm getting mixed up. He can't take P2, but he gets P3. Cool Guy comes around for P4. We'll drop behind Raz though. So a McLaren 3-4, beautifully done by the boys in orange. Ash moves up to P5, so that gap was low enough for him to move up ahead of Cool Guy. Knox gets 3-second time penalty, but he got a point. He's not going to get it though, because he's not in the points. I mean, I don't know if that is it wherever they finish, or is it top 10? I'm gonna have a quick look.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's top 10 or wherever they finish.
Let's have a look. The fuss that is 1 point. It doesn't say if they're within top 10.
I guess it's just wherever they finish, I think.
Yeah, so
Same
good
as,
job,
like,
good job to
pole position.
Knox. Yeah, good job to Knox.
Oh yeah, nuts. Actually a fantastic time.
Yeah, 1:16.1 in a race as well. That's a very good job. So McLaren, they big race from them. They extend their lead a lot over AlphaTauri, and that means they're going to be on the front foot for the remaining 3 races. So there's your podium, as we have seen many times this season. Pantera, Felix, and Charlie. Felix takes the lead of the championship comfortably. Pantera has to settle behind, and Charlie, he extends his lead over Cool Guy. No, over Kev. Sorry. After Kev had a bit of a bad race towards the end there, he only managed P8. So that is it for Mexico. If you can, I'll invite them into the party. But if you can sort out the interviews, I'm gonna have to quickly depart, sadly, but I'll get them in. Okay, I've invited them in. There we go. They're all in for an interview, and if you can conduct that, that'd be great. But for my viewers, that is it from me. And thank you guys for watching. Charlie and Felix Labyrinth is going to take the interviews. I have to quickly go, sorry. But a good race from you guys, and I'll catch up with you probably next week.